treated me with nothing but respect. Now, they're not out to eat everybody, and we can't sit there and let a few examples of some atrocities that's happened. We've all seen them happen. Waco, Ruby Ridge is a couple of the big ones out there. We just seen an incident with the Hootery Militia. Believe this, the Hootery Militia, folks, that was the act of a couple FBI agents that just wanted to put a feather in their cap. There are them type. But believe this, folks, there are patriots amongst us everywhere. They're everywhere. They're in every branch of the military. They're in the federal government. We have good guys. There's as many good guys out there, probably more good guys than what there is bad. So, hey, folks, what are we waiting on? We could sit there and pick each other apart till the moon just vanishes from the sky. And it ain't going to get us nowhere at all. We're going to have to learn that we got to take some personal responsibility, as Lady Dragon mentioned. She mentioned that personal responsibility, bless her heart. And, hey, that's what we all got to do. Can't leave it up to Drake. You can't sit around and wait on Drake with his information. You can't sit around and wait on me to get it done for you. You have to get up and you got to do it yourself. You know, nobody asked me to get up and get involved with the militia. Nobody asked me to do the things I've done throughout time with the militia. Nobody asked me to build RAM. Nobody asked me to do these things, folks. I love my freedom. I love it, and I want to make sure it endures. I want to make sure that my children and their children have the freedom that they deserve. I want to see the world set free. That's why I encourage any of our overseas listeners, Drake, by golly, build your militia. Let's go. Let's get it done.
Well, there's more to it than that in some of those countries. And you have to be, to an extent, secretive, similar to what we were here. I'm going to make a suggestion, and I'd like to know if everybody's ready for questions. Is everybody ready?
I'm fine with it.
Okay. I'd like to, Deatra, are you on there? Or is that Sue?
No, I'm here.
Okay.
Okay. Well, then let's see. We're going to start at the top of the list. Actually, no. I think somebody said we wanted to start with area code 506 out of Canada.
Huh.
Yes, I'm here, Deatra.
There you are.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Area code 506.
Hello.
Yeah, that's me. I'm the crazy crack in the chat room. I wanted to ask a question of Lady Dragon. I got a million other questions, but I know you're pushed for time. But I had a lot of trouble with the Canadian government, Canadian media, and the local police and gang stalking, et cetera, quite a few years back when I moved back to this country from Southeast Asia in the mid-'90s. And I got smacked down pretty good for speaking the truth. And there's a video of me out on YouTube, CBC, Canadian Broadcasting Corporation video. Anyway, I got involved with the Free Man on the Land movement here in Canada, or the World Free Man Society, and got led astray quite a bit through those people. So I just wanted to ask Lady Dragon that, like, I'm getting old. I don't know how much more I can do, but I'll try. I'll try to do what I can do. Hello?
That's the start, so no worries. Have you been to my website? Send me an email with where you're located, with your phone number, and I'll call you back after the show and we can discuss in detail how to help you where you are located, okay?
Thank you, Lady Dragon.
You're very welcome, dear.
Thank you, Drake, and thank you, Minute. Well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, well, thank you for your call.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have Dan, and I don't know what area code Dan is from, but Dan, your mic is open.
Hi, this is Dan, 702 in Las Vegas. Lady Dragon, great website. I was able to look through that over the last hour and a half. Wonderful stuff. For anybody here at, let's see, I know we're in a war right now. Can anybody comment on the recent death of Bobby Kennedy Jr.'s wife?
I'll comment on it, and you might want to take this with a grain of salt. There have been a lot of things done that most people do not like. The arbitrary deaths of people who have decided to go against things that have been set has created an extraordinary amount of fear, an extraordinary amount of concern. Now, these people that these people that have had these problems were not generally free people. Now, that goes to a combination of the family involvement as well as their integral involvement or benefit from sources that are not to be trusted. These sources have proved what they will do to anybody that causes them serious problems. They especially take issue with people who are of families who have been involved with what's going on. The Kennedy name and others are involved and have been involved in a variety of differing things. I'm not going to go into details for several reasons. Those reasons are my own. And just the fact that these things happen are something that people do need to take note of, but there's not a element here that has the capability to continue doing as they please, either with the lives of people nor with the general population. Too many people are aware and awake as to what is going on. You've had a combination of deaths by varying means that were proven in several cases that I know of personally to not have been accidental. And these kinds of things are not something that I feel should be allowed to continue. This is another reason for my involvement directly. I have had friends who were accidentally eliminated, and those friends still are important to me. They taught me a great deal. I learned a lot from them. So I would suggest not being overtly concerned with these kinds of things. The power to be able to do such things has been curtailed tremendously. These things are not going to be allowed to continue, nor are the people who are doing them nor ordering them to be done are going to be allowed to continue. These will be addressed in a combination of adjudication, confinement, and in some cases, the death penalty is in order. Now, I've had people disagree with the idea of punishment. Well, I'm sorry, but when a person is instrumental in taking the lives of the majority of a population of a country, I think God needs to deal with that person, because we do not have the capability to do so. And in that respect, my suggestion is that they be executed. I would not as such applaud it, because I don't like the idea of killing people, and I don't like the idea of death being a part of this, but I also know that we do not have the capability to make that person whole enough to be productive. So the next thing to go to would be a peaceful transition, which is exactly what this is all about. And this peaceful transition in its design is to simply reorganize, restructure, and revert back to the original founding documentation we have so that we can, once again, have our basis of freedom. And this time I hope we don't screw it up. I really do. This time is, I think, our last. I think that we either win this one or you can give it up. Now, at this point, we're winning, so I'm looking forward to the celebration. Next caller.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right. That was Dan. Okay, our next caller is a caller from area code 214. And caller, your mic is open, hon. Area code
Hello?
214. Yeah.
Is that me? Hello?
Yes.
That's you.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I have a question regarding, I don't know if you've answered the question on pensions. Will they be wiped out when this thing happens?
Texas?
Yeah.
Pension.
Will they be wiped out after the dust settles?
You talking about the bad guys?
No,
Well, I'm
the
talking about
pensions. Social
pensions.
Security and all those other pensions that are out there.
Well, pensions like privately held pensions, union pensions, and stuff like that.
Oh,
Okay.
no. No, you're in terms of finance. It's very simple. The first thing I'm going to suggest is that everybody who has limited income take a little bit of that each time you get some. I'd say a couple $100. And what you're going to find is you're going to be buying toilet paper and laying it up, that sort of thing. You also will need what's called junk silver. And the reason I suggest that is for two reasons. Number one is that junk silver is an American coin. Secondly, it is not confiscatable. That's in the law. So it's also spendable. Now, the other part of this is that due to the fact that you're going from a debt instrument to an equity instrument, from the Federal Reserve note to what I understand will be a Treasury-backed note. Now, that may be that we still use some of these Federal Reserve notes that we have prior to certain dates in terms of printings, okay? But in between that time, there's a dead space. That dead space, you're going to need a little bit of precious metals or something to tie you over. So you're looking at a week or so, maybe two, something along in there, of simple expenses, where you take the thing down and they use a postage meter to see what the weight of it is, and multiply by about 85-90%, and that gives you the value. Multiply that by the value of silver, and that's the value of the coin. And you're going to find a lot of retailers scrambling to be able to handle the coinage so that they can continue in business. But this is the base thing. Now, the funds people have that are sitting in the bank and they draw interest or whatever, things of that nature. The smaller investors are not going to be hurt. The extraordinarily large ones can be, depending on how the structure of their association with the bad guys is. If they're very closely related to the Federal Reserve, they're going to have a problem. If not, they'll be all right. The interesting part about this is that there is going to be an RV, or revaluation. These varying currencies, including the dinar, everybody's going nuts over that. These are to be taking place approximately the same time. Nobody right now knows what the valuation is going to be, but you'll have to wait and see what is going